What's up, guys? Welcome back to Sunday Sports Club Podcast, a podcast all about sports told by a woman, and that woman is me. Hi, guys. I'm Allison Cooch, and today I'm joined by a very special guest. We have Phoebe on today to talk all things women, football, flag football, all of it. Phoebe, go ahead, introduce yourself to the people that might not know you.
Absolutely. Well, my name is Phoebe Schecter. I always kind of start off by saying I wear a lot of hats. I know all of us have to do more than one job. So I am one of the NFL's global flag ambassadors. I am an NFL analyst for Sky Sports over in the UK. I live in England. I play flag football for Great Britain. I've got dual citizenship, so I play for them in tackle line and flag. And yeah, I mean, I'm just really excited to be able to do ESPN for my second year now doing commentary for them as an analyst for flag football. And it just feels like everything in the world is happening all around flag football. And lastly, I was a former Buffalo Bills intern coach back in the 2018-2019 season.
Wow. I mean, yeah, I actually had that written. I think we should pause just until my sitter gets here. Okay, you guys, we literally just had to pause 5 minutes into the podcast because I too wear a lot of hats. A mother, podcast host, like retired football wife. I don't know, a lot of it. So I'm sure you stay busy. I mean, does every day look very different than the next?
Honestly, I that's one of the things I love most about my job is that I never know week to week what country I'm gonna be in. Over the past 3 weeks, I've probably been in 6 different countries, landed yesterday from London, and now I'm in Connecticut where my family is based, but the fact that I get to use flag football as a tool to kind of help me see the world, and I always say I can never be mad for what I've wished for, so I feel so grateful to be in this moment and doing what I'm doing.
I love that perspective. I have to know, do you know how many stamps you have on your passport?
You know what? I'm really worried because my British passport I didn't get the thick one. You can choose a double-sided one. So I'm
Okay.
getting to the end of my passport now. And so I'm going to have to be one of those people that gets one like stapled onto the back
Yeah.
of it.
I'm always so jealous of those people, like, the ones who have, like, the ratty passports, like, you can tell it's been used. Like, I want
Yes.
my passport to look that, and I wanna have the stapled. I wanna travel that much to have the stapled pages.
I mean, we can get that done. You just need to come visit me in England. We'll go across Europe. Before you know it, you will be
Exactly.
getting that stapled chunk on the back.
Well, with you wearing so many hats, how do you introduce yourself to somebody? Like, do you just
I
pick
mean,
one of your jobs or one of your specialties and you just kinda run with that?
yeah, I'd say lately it's been more of the NFL Global Flag Ambassador because that's been something that people really want to know more about and with it taking off so much. But genuinely, it depends on who I'm speaking with, what's going to be more appropriate. Some people don't know who Sky Sports are. And so if I say an NFL analyst, I have to really, especially in Europe, I have to kind of bring it to the NFL we watch here in the US on Sundays. You might have your used to be Kevin Burkhardt and Greg Olson, and I'm like the Greg Olson when it comes to it. So you have to just find analogies for people. But people are always so fascinated that American football, that flag football has just taken off so much.
Oh, absolutely. I tend to only introduce myself as a content creator if they're, like, in the realm of, like, anything under, like, 40. Above that, I'm like, "Oh, I'm in marketing." They're like, "What are you marketing?" I'm like, "I actually have no idea." But it's interesting because one of the companies or organizations I get to work with is the NFL, and 2 years ago, I got the privilege to go to the NFL owners meeting, and there, they discussed flag football as, like, the next big thing, something that they're really emphasizing when it comes to the NFL. So how did you even get into flag football?
Well, first, I love that because that must have been the same year that I was presenting with Steve Young, DeAndre Hopkins, Mike Robinson. So we were in the
Yes.
same location, like two ships in a night.
That's crazy.
It's such a small world. I
Yeah.
absolutely love it. But when I got involved in flag football, I kind of have to take us back almost 13 years ago when I moved to the UK. So I'll summarize it because it's a long story. But essentially, my whole life I've studied horses and I've worked with horses, and that's what I wanted to do as my career. So I moved to England to work for somebody who was on the Dutch Olympic team for 3-day eventing, but based in Cheshire, which is northwest England. And not long after moving there, I saw an ad for American football on Facebook, and I just thought, when you're out of your comfort zone, you're so much more willing to take risk. And I just went for it. I hate to say, I didn't really follow the NFL when I lived here. And I really just wanted that community. I think that's something that sport can really offer. And I
Mhm.
went to my first tryout day, and my first one was tackle. And I had no idea what I was doing, but we
God.
made it work. We somehow made it work. And off the back of that, I started playing flag. And I've genuinely not looked back since.
That's impressive. Also, like, the fact that you just randomly came across, like, that listing, I'm like, "Who even wrote that listing in the first place? How does that happen?" But it's crazy because I agree with you that when like, I always look back at my life, and the biggest times that I saw growth in myself is when I was very uncomfortable. So I kinda love that you just kinda took a step out there and just decided to do that.
I feel like you've done the same though, right? You look at your career and it's almost like once you get a taste of that, being uncomfortable is never nice for anybody. But
Mhm.
when you push through and you make it to the other side and you see and feel that growth within yourself, it almost becomes this thing that you then chase, and you chase those challenges and you chase those opportunities to feel uncomfortable. And I honestly, the way that, again, I'm sure it's the same for you, the way that you can surprise yourself is just so fulfilling. I still can't believe that 12, 13 years ago, I went from not knowing anything about American football to then being able to get to where I am now. And that's why I just think it's so important to take those risks as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have to ask then, flag football, what position are you?
So in flag football, I started on defense, but I've moved to center because in flag football, the center is an eligible receiver, and it's someone that gets to be I'm gonna out myself here. I am
Oh
one of the
god.
older ones on my team at a ripe age of 35, but I am
It's crazy that's considered older.
I know, but you think, for a lot of people, especially around the world, we don't start playing football until you're in your 20s. I didn't start till I was 22. So, yeah, I've not had that much experience, but I am now kind of one of the older ones within this sport. But with age comes wisdom.
Mhm.
So, playing center means I just get to be a reliable set of hands for my quarterback. I can read a defense really well. And that's what's so important. And then the yards after the catch. Those are probably my strengths within my role.
It's so interesting how much goes into that, and I have to say, I think I've mentioned this on the podcast before, but my husband retired at the age of 29 from the
Yeah.
NFL, and that's old. So it's
Yeah.
crazy to think that in professional sports, like, age can be such a range. I'm like, I've never been considered old when I'm 30, but I guess in the NFL, that's what it is. But you also are a coach.
Mhm.
So what was your experience coaching being a woman coach with men's football teams?
Honestly, from when I started at grassroots all the way through to the elite level with the Bills, I truly feel like your environment is such a huge part of your experience. And being a part of the Buffalo Bills, Kim Bagula is one of the owners, and Sean McDermott, he's got daughters as well. I just think there's so much importance that goes within that in terms of how you treat people. And if you come in with a clear message of, hey, this is our vision, this is what we want to achieve, but then more than that, you are going to bring in people who believe in the same values as you. And when I look at kind of two elements of it, first off, there were definitely times early on where I felt like, "Oh man, I'm the only woman in here." But then I
Mhm.
had to change my mindset because I felt like by thinking I was the only woman in there, my attention was no longer on the right thing. My focus was no longer on that. And ultimately, the players, I mean, with your husband, he just wants to get better, right? These
Right.
guys just want to be coached up. They don't care if you're purple, green, what you believe in. Are you
Mhm.
going to help us be the best version of ourselves? And really every organization I've been a part of, especially in Buffalo, truly live that culture.
I love that. I have heard so many good things about the Buffalo Bills, and whenever people I wasn't allowed to answer this when my husband was playing, but whenever people would ask, "What is your dream team for your husband to play for?" It was always the Buffalo Bills, not because I'm, like, a huge fan of Buffalo, New York. I hear there's not much up there, but when it comes to the team and the community and, like, them really rallying behind the team, that's something I always wished my husband had got a chance to be a part of, like one of those diehard organizations, which he played for some teams that did have diehard organizations,
Yeah.
but the Buffalo Bills, I'm like, they're jumping on tables. Like there's something in the water up there.
There is, and they really take care of their people. You know, they bring everyone in, even from the way that the families operate, because you're right, there's not tons to do in Buffalo. And the times that it's absolutely beautiful in Buffalo is normally in the spring and summer where people don't necessarily want to be there. So the way that they just make you feel like you're one of them, and they don't, again, they don't care where you're from. Are you a Bills fan? Yeah, then you'll see it when they arrive home at 2, 3 in the morning, and the whole neighborhood are like literally snow shoveling the players and coaches' cars. I mean, they're so passionate about their fan base.
No, it's something that I love and I still admire to this day. Revamping your wardrobe can be extremely expensive, and you can also be like me and be very indecisive. I feel like my style kind of changes every day. I'm trying to create a capsule wardrobe, but that's hard when like I don't actually know what style I'm kind of going for. So insert Nuuly. Nuuly is a subscription clothing rental service that's all about helping you have fun and get creative with your style. Renting from Nuuly lets me shift my gears in my wardrobe without a complete overhaul, which can be very expensive. Every month, I rent 6 items from Nuuly's shared closet of thousands of styles for everything that I have going on. So, if you have a wedding coming up, you can get a dress. If you have a business meeting you are really looking forward to getting a cute outfit for because you want to feel confident, Nuuly. If you're going on a summer vacation, Nuuly. Nuuly takes care of everything from shipping to laundry, and you can even pause without paying a fee. So if you need to take a break for any reason, you can do just that. Again, Nuuly is a subscription clothing rental service. So for just $98 a month, you can get any 6 styles each month. You get access to thousands of styles from more than 400 brands and brands that you know and love. They have inclusive sizing, they have fast free shipping and returns, and professional cleaning. The option to buy is also available at a discount. I love Nuuly, especially for the people who are go, go, go in their lives or people who are looking to switch up their wardrobe from time to time. Nuuly is a great value at $98 a month for any 6 styles. But right now, you can get $28 off your first month of Nuuly when you sign up using code SUNDAY. Just go to nuuly.com. That's Nuuly with 2 U's and enter the code SUNDAY and get up to $28 off your first month. That's Nuuly, Nuuly.com, Nuuly with 2 U's with code SUNDAY. Nuuly subscription, clothing rental, change your clothes. If you guys have been following me on social media for a while, you know I love my drinks. Like any type of drink. I actually used to have a little series on social media that I would like try out a new drink every week and I would rate it like 1 to 10 and it would kind of just be all over the place. All that being said, I just love drinks and a drink that I have been a recent fan of is called Simply Pop. So Simply has launched a new prebiotic soda, Simply Pop, which is the new juicy soda. There are 5 flavors. They have pineapple mango, lime, strawberry, citrus punch, and fruit punch. Simply Pop is a new fruit forward bevy of prebiotic sodas made with 6 grams of prebiotic fiber to support gut health and vitamin C and zinc to support immune function. Which you guys, if you've been following me on social media, know that I have some problems with my gut health and I'm always traveling. So anything to support my immune function, I'm a fan of. That's why Simply Pop contains the same real fruit flavors you know and love, and no added sugar makes for a soda that even a juice would drink. My favorite flavor is the pineapple mango. I just feel like it's so fresh and juicy, and it's perfect for summer. And whenever I'm drinking it, I feel like I'm doing something for my body, both immune system and my gut health. And the best part is that, again, no added sugar. So I just feel like you can't beat something like that. I personally highly recommend this, whether you're on the go, you wake up and you want something juicy, or, just an outdoor summer beverage by the pool. Why not? So if you guys are interested in trying out Simply Pop, I'm a huge fan of it. I would recommend heading over to cokeurl.com/simplypop to find out where you can try Simply Pop. With the seasons changing, I feel like I'm constantly trying to change up my house. And something that I've never thought of doing before is switching out my furniture. Yes, my furniture. I feel like that is something that is very expensive to switch out, which is why I want to take a second to talk about Cort Furniture Rental. Cort Furniture Rental helps every house or apartment feel like a home on day one with high quality furnishings and expert service. You can achieve furniture freedom whenever you need it. So, like whether you have a new job, you move off campus, you're moving short term, you have a temporary furniture need, or you're like me and maybe you just want to switch it up. So, with Court Furniture Rental, you can enjoy custom packages that fit your space and fit your life, lease terms that can change with you, and professional delivery, setup, and pickup, which that really sells it for me because the idea of me not having to lift a finger, but like I can switch up my house and what it looks like, I'm a huge fan of. I feel like anybody who might be listening to this that like their significant other plays a sport or you play a sport or you just have a job that you're constantly moving around. I feel like travel nursing, that's a great one because you might need furniture now for something and might not need it in the near future. And that's where Court Furniture Rental can come in. Furniture shouldn't tie you down no matter where you move. Furniture rental is convenient whenever you get a new job, again, move off campus, short term. There are so many reasons as to why you could use them. Move in ready room packages designed with your next move in mind. With furniture rental, you can rent what you need and return it when you're ready for the next adventure. Even as I'm reading this, I'm like, something great that you could use this for is postpartum. Like if you have family coming into town and you might need like a sleeper couch or just some more seating, or maybe the holidays are coming up, like not Christmas being literally in so far into the future and me already thinking about it. But I just feel like if you have any temporary furniture needs, Court Furniture Rental is perfect. So if you guys are interested in trying it out, build your own furniture rental package today at Cort.com. That's CORT.com/podcast. So what was your role in the coaching staff and what did your day to day look like with the team?
So my role did vary a little bit because we kind of created this role. There was nothing like it at the time. So I was with tight ends, so I was assistant tight ends, and then I was also offensive assistant, would help with special teams practice squad, and because of where my desk was, I was sat across from Coach McDermott, the GM Brandon Bean, and in the defensive part of the hallway, I was able to sit in on the defensive meeting. So help some of the coaches, drawing up cards, anything like that, help the assistant to the head coach. I was really so fortunate that I was in a position to absorb from all these wonderful coaches. And then a day to day is just like anyone else's. So, get to the building at maybe 5:30 if I can get a gym workout in to just help me feel like a human, I will. And then you're pretty much straight into it, prepping for the day. Your first meetings are usually around 6:30 with everyone and kind of break off into that walkthroughs and printing out all the scripts, getting everything ready for the guys. Again, I was predominantly with offense when we were on the field and with tight ends. So anything that they need to do. And then you finish at 11:30 at night. So, and then you
Yeah.
just do it all over again.
It's crazy how whenever my husband and I discuss like his NFL career, if he wants to become a coach in the future, coaches are there before the players get there and way after the players leave. And if there's an off day, there's no off day for coaches, especially during the season.
There's no such thing. I remember during our bye week, you're supposed to have a few days off. I think we were in the building until Wednesday, and then we had maybe Thursday, Friday off, and then back in on Saturday as coaches. But it's hard because you want to be so prepared for your players and you want to
Mhm.
give them the best chance to be successful by getting them that information. And it would be so tough to look back on the season and think, oh, if I just put a little more time into this, maybe that would have been the
Right.
difference between, winning and losing.
Yeah. Well, what was your favorite part of the Bills organization?
Ooh. I love the coaches. I loved who I work with. I think when you get to know people on that level, it's just there's nothing like it because you are genuinely showing up to work every day not just to be the best version of you, but to be the best version of yourself for your team. And
Mhm.
it's that elite kind of mindset and speed, there's
Mhm.
really no replacing it.
Right. I love that. Yeah, I think that the organization, the people, it all is like kind of a big family. I think especially because so many players and coaches and anybody on the staff, I mean, equipment guys, all of everybody is away from their families that well, probably away from their families more
Yeah.
than likely. So it's almost like the team becomes your new family.
Do you miss that element of it?
Absolutely. I think that's actually one of the parts I miss most about the NFL is the community, the friends, the camaraderie, the and even more so the cadence too. Is just like having a set group of friends, having a place you have to be at a certain time. Since my husband's retired, I'm like, we got to find some hobbies.
Yeah.
We got to look into something elsewhere. But it's interesting your connection to flag football and to regular American football. So, can you explain the difference between the 2?
Yeah, absolutely. So, flag football is the five-a-side non-contact version, and it's great. You're on a much smaller field, so it's 70 yards by 25. So it's literally a fraction of what an NFL field looks like. And then you have a lot of the same kind of rules, but you've got 4 attempts to get it halfway, or 4 downs to get halfway, and then another 4 to score if you're playing international rules. Touchdowns are still the same. You get 6 points, and then you can go for one or for two, depending on a different distance. But I find what makes it so user friendly is the fact that all you need is a football and flag belts. And so the reason it's been able to grow at such a incredible rate is because of fewer barriers to participation. And there definitely are less rules. And
Mhm.
you watch the NFL and I love it so much, but it's hard for some people to necessarily understand right away. With
Mhm.
flag, you're like, wow, this is just taking all the highlights of the NFL. What do we love to see from the NFL? Great throws, great catches, and awesome tackles. For us in flag, a tackle is simulated by pulling the flag, and the next play starts from that position.
I find it so interesting, and as a parent, I've always thought like, "Oh, do I want my son to play football?" And I love the introduction of flag football, especially initially, like, as, like, these kids are growing up, and I think it's such a cool sport. I mean, you mentioned it, like, you really don't need a ton of equipment. You don't need these huge bulky pads or, 50 helmets for every guy in the team. It really makes it, like, so much more attainable to people who might not get to spend money on all of those necessary things. What do you love about flag football the most?
I think flag football truly allows me to be myself and
Mhm.
to find a sport that can kind of let you be authentically you. And whether that's with quirkiness or your energy, whatever that looks like, I feel like that's where I can just have fun and be with my teammates. And, you know, I think that's the other element is that the community is so fantastic because I feel lucky to know people from around the globe now. I could literally go anywhere in the world and stay with someone who is from flag football. And we don't have to speak the same language, but we can appreciate each other's athleticism, dedication to the growth of the game. And so, yeah, I think that kind of letting me be me, but also letting me be a part of this really wonderful and inviting community.
I love how passionate you are about it. I love people who are passionate about sports in general, but it is true that, like, I think sports can bring a community closer together, and flag football has grown tremendously, I wanna say over the past 2 years especially. So, you're doing a lot of work to grow that as well. I mean, you have a huge role in that. Where do you see flag football growing to?
I think it's a fantastic question because we're in the middle of a really exciting time with flag football. You're totally spot on for saying the past 2 years has just kind of the
It's
trajectory has gone
wild.
right. I mean, you can't escape knowing what flag football is right now. And part of that is because it's now a sport in LA 28, which is so exciting. But I think part of it also is we're looking at having a pro men's and women's league to start in the next year or so, and that's going to add a big element to it. Again, the ease and convenience of the sport, it's global. I think that's one of the biggest things is only 2 weeks ago, we had the first ever flag continentals in Africa. Team Nigeria men and Team Nigeria women both won that, but it's the first time we've had like an African Cup. And so you're starting to see how this sport is kind of infiltrating around the world. And again, the ease and convenience of it, how you're able to travel and get anywhere and play against anyone, it just really is an exciting time. And for me, I kind of see it almost like pro sevens rugby,
Mhm.
where they go around, they travel because it's small teams. You normally only travel with 10, 12 people.
Wow.
So it's so convenient.
No, I love that, and I mean, what a huge thing for it to be appearing in the 2028 Olympics. What kinda I mean, how much does that milestone mean to you?
It's definitely was a long time in the works, and when they finally announced it, I got to announce it. I was at work, and I got to announce it from the UK, and, I think it's almost hard to still imagine because you think of all the years of dedication, you never know, and I may or may not play in the Olympics, but to know that other people, other young men and women will get the opportunity to represent their country playing a sport that people kind of didn't know about a couple years ago is the most humbling and fulfilling and just the biggest dream that I could ever hope for as an athlete and advocate for the sport.
I love it because I feel like in the past, I mean, when my husband started playing way back in 2017 in the NFL, I feel like if we traveled abroad and we mentioned football, people automatically assume soccer. But I wonder how this flag football introduction and it appearing in the Olympics, how much broader of a sport it will be. And I can only imagine where it's going to be in, I mean, 10 years.
Oh, it's gonna be incredible because you're also getting athletes from other sports wanting to be involved. You've
Hmm.
got track stars, basketball, netball, handball, whatever, all around the world that are thinking, okay, maybe I'm not necessarily at that elite level of my sport, but I could find and try something new. And that's going to totally change it. I mean, you've seen the conversations about having the NFL players playing in the Olympics. I mean, for them to represent their countries, and again, we're not just talking about US because we have the international player pathway program. We have people who are from all over the world. Imagine how incredible that would be to don, whether it's Germany for Amon Ross St. Brown or the USA for one of our guys and go
Yes.
out there and show up it's like the dream team from basketball from the 90s, you know?
You guys, I've been wearing Skims for quite a while now, okay? I remember actually working with them back when my husband was playing in Indiana, and I was wearing them before I even worked with them because I love them so much. When it comes to underwear and bras, I prioritize comfortability and just feeling good in my skin, and that's why I love Skims. If you guys have never tried out any of the Skims collections, the Fits Everybody is so freaking comfortable. They have bras and underwears, thongs, briefs, and I've converted to wearing underwear again. Sorry, that's a little TMI, but the feeling is kind of like none other than not wearing underwear. Thongs before used to bother me so much just throughout the day, but this fabric really melts onto the skin and you kind of forget you're wearing it. And that's something I'm a huge fan of. Skims has so many cute things to choose from. They have so many different colors and styles. So let's say you're not a thong kind of girl. That's okay. You can wear briefs. I actually have been loving wearing briefs, okay? Especially during that time of the month because I just prioritize feeling comfortable in my own skin. So, as you can tell, I'm a huge fan of Skims, especially the Skims Fits Everybody collection. They have something for everyone, so many colors, so many styles to choose from. So shop Skims Fits Everybody collection and more at skims.com. After you place your order, be sure to let them know that I sent you. Select podcast in the survey and be sure to select my show in the drop down menu that follows. You guys know I've been talking about how I'm trying to revamp my wardrobe, okay? And it's going well, but something that I've came across along the way is that I prioritize comfortability more so than I do fashion, and I feel like I shouldn't have to prioritize one or the other. They should go hand in hand, right? So insert Vionic. Vionic has the best essential styles for everyday wear to get you ready for the spring and summer season. So I'm talking shoes that are comfortable, shoes that you want to wear out to dinner, shoes that you can wear while running errands, and they're not gonna hurt your feet. You're not gonna get blisters. They're comfortable and they're cute, and they're something that I love. So, one of their styles, the Uptown Willa, is my new everyday essential. It is Vionic's most coveted style, the Uptown Loafer, and it has a new friend. It's part sneaker, part mock, and this new streamlined design delivers wearable well being for your feet. I have to mention a sandal shoe because, again, it's summer. The Wanderer. The Wanderer is your new active sandal designed with all the Vionic walking technology you know and love, with 3 points of adjustability and supercritical foam for extra cushioning. It's designed to walk. Sometimes sandals can be really uncomfortable and I just want to throw something at my feet and walk out the door. So insert the Wanderer from Vionic. You might be thinking, well, what sets Vionic apart? So, Vionic's exclusive Vio Motion technology is what sets them apart. They began by revolutionizing medical orthotics. Today, they are committed to harnessing that medical foundation in the advancement of biomechanics to engineer significantly better performing shoes that strengthen your natural movement while aligning and balancing you feet first. They also offer a 30-day guarantee so you can wear them, love them, or return them for a full refund within 30 days. If you guys are interested in trying out Vionic and getting your feet something comfortable to wear every day, feel free to use code Sunday at checkout for 15% off your entire order at www.vionicshoes.com when you log into your account. First time use only. Vionic shoes, wearable well being for your feet. When it comes to the wellness space, I feel like it is so overcrowded with gimmicks and quick fixes, but long term performance, I feel like that takes the right foundation. And that's why I was really excited to try out Momentus's The Woman's Three. It's a simple science backed system created with Dr. Stacy Sims, one of the world's leading experts in female physiology. Together, they didn't just create another product, they addressed what women actually need across every stage of life. The system focuses on iron, calcium, and vitamin D3, three nutrients that are often overlooked but critical for energy, bone health, recovery, and resilience. You guys, for a while, I wasn't taking my vitamin D. And once I incorporated it back into my routine, I was like, wow, I feel like a whole new woman. I feel like a whole new being, and it feels great. And the way that the Woman's Three has been delivered matters. AM and PM doses are optimized to avoid nutrient interference and boost absorption. So every ingredient in the Woman's Three is NSF certified for sport, the gold standard in independent testing. It's not the industry norm, it's the Momentous standard. That means it's suitable for professional and Olympic athletes, verified label accuracy, and guaranteed purity and potency. But it's not just about products. Momentous is also stepping up with Change the Ratio, a $500,000 commitment to close a gender gap in health and performance science, with only 6% of studies dedicated to women's physiology and biology in this space. They're investing their research, institutions, and experts who are changing the game for women. And this is more about equity. It's about seeing what truly is possible. So, if you're ready to cut through the noise and build your routine on real science, check it out. Head to livemomentous.com and use code Sunday for up to 35% off your first order. That's Sunday at livemomentous.com. Well, I actually have to talk about the international programs of getting men from other countries and getting them able to play in the NFL because I think I'm not sure if it was newer towards the end of my husband's career, but it was crazy to me that guys were coming from other countries, had never played football before, and they were killing it. They were making the 53-man rosters. They were taking people's spot who had been playing football their entire lives. So it's going to be really interesting to see how flag football transforms some of these other athletes' careers because you said it, you could be really great at a sport, but maybe not that top elite level. And so it'll be really interesting to see how they transform into flag football and are able to use their skills in that way. And I feel like a lot of people think that the American men's flag football team will win in the Olympics. Do you think that's gonna happen?
It's such an interesting point because they actually just had a competition not too long ago out in LA, and they lost to Canada. And Canada have just brought in a CFL head coach. He's been in the CFL for 20 plus years. Coach LaPrince, he's a two-time Grey Cup winner, and that shocked the world of flag football,
Everyone's like, "Wait,
honestly.
this is America's sport. What are you doing?"
Exactly, and people were worried about the NFL players coming in, taking their spots, but now we gotta think globally. If you're starting to get either NFL head coaches in, CFL head coaches in, you're not just now talking about the players, you're opening up this whole can of worms. Now, the US in men's and women's are always gonna be competitive, right? I mean, I
Mhm.
think that's just in the
Yeah,
DNA. But we have to be aware of other countries who are making more with less, who are finding out,
right.
okay, these are our strengths. How do we take advantage? If anyone ever fancies watching it, Japan are a great example of that. Japan are naturally a shorter team. And the way that they do a lot of smoke and mirrors, but they're so efficient within it. So that's what's so beautiful about all this, because every country has its own style of flag football. And it's up for anybody in 2028.
I love that, and I love the competitiveness of that. I also have to mention that you said it yourself, like, when it comes to size, like, maybe Japan, like, they're not what you would typically think of when it comes to American football. But I know a few players that have, not had the height or the arm width or something that the NFL tends to measure. Like, I think they measure jumps, like how high you can jump at the NFL combine. But it's interesting to see some of these players who are typically not seen as NFL players being in the NFL, and more so like getting huge contracts and being some of the top players. Just because they're not like the similar body that you're expecting doesn't mean they can't use their skill set in a different way. And so it's always been so interesting to me. When you think of NFL players on current rosters, can you pick 3 that you would want on your flag football team?
Yes, I would want, Justin Jefferson, and he's keen to play as well. I would love a Lamar Jackson because he can do it all, and I think that's what you need. And then uh, I'm trying to think who the last person. I'm torn because there's a few different people that I would definitely go for, but I actually would do like a Travis Hunter who can play both ways, played 7-on-7, because
Mhm.
in the Olympics there's only going to be 10 players on a roster. So you're going to need people to play both ways, and if you can understand that, I just think it's gonna be dangerous, and if everyone can throw, get out of here.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's gonna be so impressive to watch that when the Olympics come near. And I also am a huge fan of flag football for another reason, and that's because of young girls who have never thought of like growing up and becoming an NFL player. So what does this sport mean to you in terms of like young girls who are looking up to this sport?
I will say that women have been the reason that this sport has gotten to where it is,
Hell
because
yeah,
they
I
have
love
been the
that.
absolute driving force behind this, and it's fantastic, and it's great that everyone else is now late to the party, but women have definitely been pushing this from day one. And what I love is we're sanctioned in 15 states for varsity high school in terms of flag football, and that's only going to keep growing. You are now eligible to get college scholarships, NAIA, JUCO. We're starting to branch into NCAA, and that will be a true game changer. Um,
Mhm.
you can play internationally. There's scholarship. It's just phenomenal. But to think that these young girls who I think one of the stats I love the most is around 40% of the girls that we have playing flag football never participated in sport before. And you think, especially to those like 13, 15-year-old girls where, they're just trying to figure themselves out, and
Mhm.
you can find your community, you can find your people and your place within sport. And if that gets to be flag football for you and it changes your life in terms of flag football and football, the way that it empowers women and gives us so much confidence, like you wish you could just sprinkle that around and give it to everybody. And so we finally get, you've watched your husband for years be able to get all these amazing intangible skills from the NFL. Well, now the women and girls get
Like,
those.
wait, I actually might wanna play flag football. What are you talking
I'm
about?
You need to. You would be so fantastic because honestly, like the leadership, teamwork, resilience, all those things that men have been able to get from football for their whole lives. Now we have access to that as well. And it's just, oh, I'm just like hyped about it all, just
Yeah.
talking about it.
I'm like, yeah, it's about time. It's
Exactly.
crazy. Whenever we found out we were having a girl, so many people were like, "Oh, he'll get his boy. He'll get his boy." I'm like, "What do you mean? Like, he doesn't need a boy. Like, she can play sports." And I can't wait because I know it will come that flag football is in the NCAA. I'm
Yeah.
crossing my fingers. It happens before my daughter reaches college, so that she can be a part of that, and even in high school and beyond. But I love it so much, and I do love the sport of football, and it looks a little bit different, but I think it's so incredible, and I love how accessible it is. What are you looking forward to in the upcoming football season?
Ooh, as in NFL or flag?
Ooh, I think you can say both.
I guess for flag, I actually travel next month with my team to the World Games, which takes place in Chengdu, China. So 8 women's teams are going to go compete on a global stage, which is going to be phenomenal. So I'm so excited for that. And then just the continuation, ultimately getting more states involved in sanctioning the sport. The NFL teams are doing a great job of making that happen. It takes a couple years sometimes to get it
Mhm.
in the works. And then from an NFL season perspective, I always love this time of year because there's so much hope in the air. You never
All
know
the
which.
players are healthy, everybody's ready to
Exactly.
go. There's especially in July, everybody's
Yes.
ready.
Exactly, exactly. No games have been lost, so there's no
Yeah.
negativity. For us internationally, we have so many games this year. We have Dublin, Ireland, we've got 3 in the UK, we've got Real Madrid in Spain, and then we've got Berlin. And so to see this game continue to grow internationally is just an absolute pinch me dream.
Oh, I love that. Oh my gosh. I Those were some of my favorite games to travel to when my husband was playing. I might have to still travel to a few this year because it's always so fun getting to see it in a different country, in a different culture. And I'm such a fan of it. But before we end today's episode, I always do some rapid fire Q&A questions. So you can say this or that, or you can give a little spiel if you want to.
Sure.
Tea in the UK or coffee in the US?
Tea in the UK for sure, and
They're
it's done
putting
the
something
proper way.
different in the tea in the UK. It doesn't taste the same here.
It's a whole process, they are very honorable about it.
I'm like, "Yeah, I actually do want milk in my tea," which I would never ask for in the US, but in the UK, I'm like, "Yeah, give me some milk."
Yes.
Who wins games, offense or defense?
Ooh. Defense wins championships, so I've gotta go with them because they're the ones that lock things down and give the offense another opportunity.
Okay, love that. Who's the GOAT, Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady?
Oh, it still for me has to be Tom Brady. He has won 7 Super Bowls, 2 different teams, and Mahomes is on that. He's working on that. He almost got that dynasty with a three-peat, but Brady's still got that on him.
I love that. Coaching your kids' teams or cheering from the sidelines?
It's gonna have to be coaching my kids' teams. I wouldn't be able to be
I
on
expected that.
I'd be like, "You gotta do
I know
this."
my husband always jokes that he doesn't wanna be the coach. I'm like, "So you're gonna be sideline coaching then. You're gonna be the backseat driver. You might as well just go ahead and hop in the
Exactly.
driver's seat because no parent around us wants to hear you just complain about the coaching." Um,
Exactly.
Broadcasting from the sidelines or playing the field?
Oh, that is the hardest one. Um, it's so hard to not choose playing because there's nothing like playing, but broadcasting and telling people stories is so just unique. And to be on the sideline, which I know so many people don't get the opportunity to do, I feel so hard to be like, but I love playing and I'm still an athlete for now. When I get cut,
Okay.
then
Yes. Flag football or touch?
flag football for sure. It's way harder.
Yes, I love that. All right, well, that's all we have for today. Where can people find you?
Anywhere on socials, it's just my name, Phoebe Schecter. But if you ever want to get involved in flag football, please just reach out to your local governing body or IFAF, because we want to help get you involved in any way, shape, or form.
I have to ask one last question. Is there anything you would say to young girls who might be listening to this that maybe wanna get involved in flag football?
Honestly, just go for it. You will not regret it. The family that you will meet within this sport and the way that you will change who you are for the better, it's it's a no-brainer for me. Just go try it. I promise you it will change your life. I am just we are all just a series of the decisions that we made. I'm no different to anybody else, and you can start that path just by putting yourself in an uncomfortable situation.
Yes, make yourself uncomfortable, and that's where you'll see a lot of growth. Thank you so much for coming on, Phoebe, and I hope you guys enjoyed listening to this episode of Sunday Sports Club. Be sure to tune in every Sunday wherever you listen to your podcasts.